Hi everyone, let me share the screen. So we are continuing the book Duality is Over. We are in almost quarter, for more than quarter of the book is completed. Let us now beginning. Let's now start from where we left last week. A cosmic joke. What is the difference between a Zen Buddhist living in a remote cave in the Himalayas for 40 years and let us say a Westmer of 40 years who loves his media and all the comfort in life? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Both are animations from the same source. One knows nothing of being lost, the other chasing his tail, climbing all our lost. Thoughts at play in the great paradoxical play of life. You do not need to be a monk, priest, or holy to know the truth. They are playing a part in this cosmic understanding, just like you. If you are happy living in a cave or happy sitting in a warm dwelling, that is a choice you have made. Joy is a major key in transformation. So why do you think your screens are full of drama? The radio in the car, the TV in the house, the older generation have these on all the time, either taking note or claiming it. It's just background noise. The drama is entering your conscious awareness and lowering your vibration, whether you believe these words or not. The younger generation on their phones permanently whilst awake. Dramatic scenes played out on their portable devices. Do you know the meaning of device? A thing made for a particular purpose, a crafty scheme or trick. The obvious is in plain sight, but can you see it? Our habits and expectations are the downfall. So, when does a good deed become a habit and then a resentment? An example could be a friend offering to give you a lift whilst explaining it is not a problem and they are happy to do it. You take your friend upon their generous offer by accepting the odd lift, but over time it becomes more regular and a habit is formed. Now, expectation manifests with one giving and the other receiving. The day will come when a lift cannot be given for whatever reason. Your friend may be busy, but your appointment is urgent and necessary. Without thought, because of habit and expectation, you just assume the lift would be there. Now you are annoyed with your friend, yet the friend has done nothing other than full of resentment. It may only be in thought, no words are said because they are far too polite. But that does not stop the war of thoughts and all the rights and wrongs in the mind can bring when expectation falls short. Most hide their feelings over awkward situations, never expressing how they truly feel, just their thoughts at war. This and many other scenarios create the warring consciousness that has so much energy in this dimension. It may only be a short stream of thought, something you dismiss as nothing. But when you have many others thinking this way, it becomes an okay, okay, it's hidden. Domineering thoughts of negativity have ruled this planet for generations. All contribute to every negative situation in this world, and when you pass over, you will see your creative patterns, whether they are positive or negative. You will see what you created whilst here and their effect on the world around you. What was once a spat is now a war in the mind of the broody. The facts lost in the many scenarios their moody mind has imagined, so now the war moves outside. Their words reveal their thoughts, and when the culprit of their mind gives them reason enough, they will shout any other shut down and declare war. With negativity comes destruction. How simple this world is. Yet many have no idea how the misuse of thoughts can affect themselves and every other living being on this planet. There is no one to blame for your state of being or your perceived state of this earth or any other reason you declare things are not right. Blindness is sadly universal on this plane of thought, yet every stream of thought can be looked at. Observing rather than taking part in the war of thought is the way to go. If you watch rather than take part, you will master the emotional side to life that creates the greatest good and the greatest evil. If you doubt this knowledge and claim to be an individual with your own separate thought system, then gives then give us something original to this planet that has not been suggested in some form before. I am very patient man. I am a very patient man. So you may have as long as you need. We live in the past. Everything has been done. Even some future imaginary moment lives in the past. You may not be able to change it in your present state, but you can look at it through a different lens and see a whole different picture to the one you see now. To be forceful is to go against nature. It is so easy to destroy and so difficult to create. Why do you think those in power shout and demand? You can see them on your screens saying things must be done a certain way, and if not, they will create laws. They will imprison the lawbreakers. Their game is so easy to see, but the obvious is missed by so many taking sides. A peaceful, gentle understanding is the way to go if you want to create. The natural in you acts as one. You do not have to be a seer to know this. We can see this every day when a group comes together to complete a task that has no personal need of their own attached. An example would be a group of nurses and doctors working in an intensive care ward. A patient arrives, and although the staff comes from several different countries, cultures, and religions, they act as one. Their unified purpose is to keep the patient alive. This is your nature, and no false god or religion should stand in its way. Your natural nature is within you. The all seeing eye should not be covered up by the shadowy thoughts of separation. Allow your character to express their natural way and not be an opposing force. Every philosopher will explain their concept of life, but in reality, there is no one, there is no self. Hard to understand is this concept of truth through the use of words. It cannot be grasped without experience, even though there is no you to experience it. What a paradox life is when spoken. You do not need to sit in meditation positions for years on end to treat everything you see as a reflection of you. Meet all you see with how you wish to be treated, and that's it. Not complicated at all. You have been doing it unconsciously for generations. Now, to do it with a bit more focus, causing less chaos. Deception is trying to fix the world from an outside view. You cannot heal 7 billion delusional beings, but you can heal yourself. And we should, because there is no other. All that is needed is a change of thought patterns within the individual, and then your outlook will change. If your delusional being can grasp this information, we would heal this world. If we heal the world, then we would have healed our own misplaced understanding. Mental and physical diseases would be a thing of the past around you, including the animals and insects, plus the ground you walk on, the air you breathe. When you love, all you live a life without fear. Life is simply lived with the knowledge that you see is a reflection of your thoughts. So, what are you seeing? If you do not like what you see, do not complain. Change the way you think. These words may or may not make sense to your understanding. But if you wish to see the truth, there is only one that you can truly converse with. The unconscious realm holds all the information, and the subconscious will reveal the truth to your conscious understanding. This truth emerges with a real passion. If you do not feel it, then the timeline for you to grasp this information has not arrived. An intellectual understanding of these words can still be grasped without the passionate embrace. If the passion is with you, then enjoy the ride. It is the greatest of adventures. You have to find out what you are not and see past the character that you think you are. But the habit of me is hard to drop, as we know. Imagination is the creative force behind all thought. Any psychiatrist will explain that all your problems come from how you think. Polarity has a central point unknown to those who have studied in this field. Yet, they practice observation all the time when they are with clients. What they say is true, but you are not what you think. Unless lost to a way of thinking, and when you gain control of these outdated forms of thought, the emotional side of life will know this. When one can observe their own thoughts and have reasonable discourse with oneself, you engage with a truthful understanding and not the concepts of others. Once the impersonal is experienced, all that can be known and spoken about is a personal view of this unknown. Thought and words will never make up for the experience. You have two young children, and both hold fruit in their hands. The boy an apple, and the girl an orange. But they both claim to hold the opposite of what they have. You try to explain the difference, and by doing so, you visibly upset them. They get anxious at your strange and confusing wisdom, so you leave them to their own understanding because in time they will come to know the truth. You go from one life to the next, denying who you are and never knowing all you dismiss, and that shall be your next life. A never ending cycle of death and rebirth. Only when you see that light and dark have a need for each other will this cease to be and become a whole. Neither one is a truth, but a way of life. Truth is the knowing of both and the practice of none. Love has no needs. Many expressions in this world are devilish or loving nature, but some have more subtle expressions that are expressed everywhere and at all times by those in balance. When you come across this type of information and begin to understand it, you think it will change the world, and some philosophers of the past believed they would. They never quit understood the message, and that is, it cannot be taught or understood in a level for you to see the true meaning unless you engage with the silent one within, and that is a choice. The personal construction does not make only knowing a temporary play. The real play is the natural order of life without demands or expectations. Nothing to give or take for love has no need or desire. But you create a need and devise a path to finding love. When these needs are not met, you say you are unloved. But the fact is, love cannot be diluted. It was the partner in your life who got fed up answering your need to be loved. Power over any individual is corruption and destruction. A lesson we have not learned so far. Is it a need to be heard and a desire to listen? Or it is a desire to be heard and a need to listen? Or is need and desire the same thing? The here and now is constantly repeating the world's history, created from fictional belief. But when insight takes you deep into the past, revelations start to dawn. The egoic thoughts of the here and now will claim this insight for self service. The eventually self service, but eventually you reach the silent teachings and the personal is at loss. Thoughts have ceased, and there is nothing left for the constructed mind to grasp, and you live as and when things happen without fear or longing. The days of worry and hope are over, space vacated by old habits, and the warring consciousness of man is no more. Sorry, the days of worry and hope are over, and the ego is at loss when you are no longer worrying or hoping. Peace fills the space vacated by old habits, and the warring consciousness of man is no more. The greatest fight is over, and the humble man or woman has conquered the world, whilst the good and bad shout their nonsense. You watch on and wonder when peace will be theirs. Nothing more than a collection of thoughts that creates the character of me and you. This creation is a belief system, and born within this is the idea of me and you. Imagine a screen with every image known to man appearing. You want none of these but provide the space for all the seemingly solid objects to appear in form. We are a creative source, so how can any thought rising from this source claim to be it? There is nothing to claim. This creative energy is everywhere, and this is what you are. Look at nature and the many expressions it has. You and I are conscious forms of thought. Think of a tree blowing in the wind or losing its leaves in autumn. You do not believe there is a character inside giving direction. It has its own natural quality and understands the wind and the sun and rain. The tree dances to the tune of nature because it knows movement is the key. If it stands rigid, it will snap. Your thoughts belong to others. Whilst they do not, whilst they do, you will dance to their rigid tune and eventually snap. Whilst you live in the mind, you are lost to the truth of this world. There is nothing to grasp, claim, or call your own. To know the truth is to know love. Love overcomes all your needs, allowing you to see and feel that which is given freely to all and with all being when there are no needs. Silence is the way. So with this, we conclude for today. Thanks for listening. Maybe it may take some time to assimilate whatever we read. So if you feel like sharing anything, feel free. And if not, we will meet tomorrow. Thank you. Yeah, I think we will end the session for today. So wish you all to have a good night and see you all tomorrow.